So we hit 10,000 subscribers. 10,000! Let that sink in for a second. That's not a small number. That's a modest stadium full of people who actually care about the same old school games, pixel art, and awesome chiptunes that I do. And honestly, I still can't quite believe it. But before I get all emotional, let me tell you what we're going to cover today. First, I've got to say a proper thank you. Then we'll take a quick, honest look back at how this channel got from 0 to 10,000. And finally, I'll give you a sneak peek at what's coming next, including a brand new series that I'm genuinely excited about. 18 months ago, I uploaded the first video on this channel, and let me be real, it was kind of rough. But you stuck around anyway. You watched, you commented, you told me what you liked, and more importantly, you told me what needed work. And I listened. Here's what most people don't realize about starting a new YouTube channel. The first few months are lonely. You upload a video, you refresh the page 100 times, and maybe a dozen people watch it. You start to wonder if anyone is even out there, or if it's even worth it. But then, slowly, something changed. The comments started coming in. People were sharing their own memories of playing these games. They were correcting me on details I got wrong. They suggested games I'd never even heard of. And that's when it clicked. This wasn't just me making videos anymore. This was our conversation. My most popular videos are the ones where I just talked about the games I actually cared about. The ones where I went deep and shared my personal stories about playing them, or where I dug into some obscure technical details that most people would never notice. And the more I leaned into that, the more our channel grew. The technical deep dives, the retrospectives that look back at how it really felt playing these games when they first came out. That is what sets this channel apart. And here's something I don't talk about enough. It's what this channel has given me personally. See, before I started Retro Gaming Boss, I was kind of stuck. Not in a dramatic way, just in that quiet, nagging way where you feel like something's missing. You know that feeling. You finish your work up for the day, you collapse on the couch, you might scroll through your phone for a couple of hours, and then you go to bed feeling like you've accomplished nothing. Making these videos has changed that. It gave me an excuse to replay these games I hadn't touched in decades. It made me feel like that kid again, the one that used to ride his bike to his friend's house just to play Sonic 2 on the Genesis. And the best part? I get to share that feeling with you, and you shared it right back. Every comment, every suggestion, every story you told in the replies, that's what's made this real. That's what's made this a community. And that's why we're here today, not because I'm some amazing content creator, but because we built this together. So, what comes next? First, I'm not slowing down. If anything, I'm more motivated than ever. I've got a backlog of games I want to cover, more stories I've got to tell, and technical rabbit holes that we've got to dive into. But I also want to try something new. Something I've been thinking about for a while. So I've launched a new series called In Defense Of. So here's the idea. Every console has its games that became punching bags. You know, the ones that everyone loves to hate and they're forgotten by history. But in my experience, some of those games aren't really as bad as everyone says. Sometimes they were just actually ahead of their time or misunderstood, and sometimes they're still fun if you give them a chance. So that's what this series is about. I'm going to pick out some games and consoles that are widely considered to be bad or have just been overlooked, and I'm going to make my best case for why they deserve a second look. Not because I'm trying to be contrarian, but because I genuinely believe there is value in some games that got lost in the noise. And in fact, I've already made a couple videos in the new series about the Atari Jaguar console and also an old RPG for the Sega Master System called Miracle Warriors. So check them out and let me know what you think. And I want your help with this. If there is a game you always felt was unfairly judged, then drop it in the comments so I can add it to my list. And while we're talking about what's next, a couple of other quick updates for you. First, I launched a second channel right here on YouTube that's dedicated to short-form content, because I know your time is incredibly limited, and sometimes you just want a quick hit of retro gaming stuff without having to settle in for a full deep dive. And I also just launched the official Retro Gaming Boss website. You can find it at www.retrogamingboss.net. Join me there, where I share even more retro gaming news, updates, and those little favorite memories that don't always make it into full videos. It's another way for us to keep the conversation going between the uploads. But let me be clear about something. These won't replace what we already do. The core of this channel will always be the same. Technical deep dives into retro games and consoles. retrospectives that look back at how it really felt playing these games when they first came out, the stories behind the pixels. That's what brought us here. That's what you keep coming back for. Because for guys like you and me, it isn't only about the games. Sometimes it's more about finding a mental sanctuary away from the pressures of adult life. A place where the rules are simple, the goals are clear, and the satisfaction is immediate. And look, if this channel can be that for even one person, then it's all worth it. So, 10,000 subscribers, that's a big deal. But honestly, it's not the numbers that matter. What matters is that you're here. What matters is that we're keeping this part of gaming history alive together. So, thank you. Thank you for watching. Thank you for commenting. Thank you for sticking with me through the rough early days. Thank you for pushing me to be better. Now, let's go fire up an old console. Play some old school games that you haven't touched in years, and if you find something worth talking about, you know where to find me. Alright, my friends, this is the Retro Gaming Boss signing out. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you on the next one.